A sweltering summer's evening in London's Hyde Park, where last July thousands came together at the British Summertime Festival. Enjoying in the crowd was 26-year-old Gina Martin, but along with the good memories that she made that day, came some bad ones too.
We were standing in the crowd waiting for them to come on, and there were 60,000 people, so it's pretty tight, you know. And there was these two guys about here behind me, and they were like trying to hit on me, and I just kept saying, no, I'm good, thanks, no, thank you, no, many times. And then I felt one brush up against my back, one of them, and I thought they were sort of dancing, although there was no music on, so I just sort of carried on. And I saw over his shoulder, he had WhatsApp open, and there was a picture of like a upper girl's skirt, but it was probably like only that far from her crotch, you know, really right between her legs. And I just knew it was me immediately because of how they were, and I knew what I was wearing, and I saw it, and I was like, that's me. And I grabbed the phone off him, and I like held it up, and I was like, you've been taking pictures of my skirt, what is wrong with you? And I was crying.
Security and the police were quick to get involved, but even with the evidence at hand, they were powerless and unable to help.
And I was a mess at that point. I was crying and just so panicked. And they said, we've had to look at the photo, and it shows more than you'd want it to show. They were very nice. They were like, it shows more than you'd want it to show, but we can't do anything because you're wearing knickers. They were like, if you weren't wearing knickers, it would be a graphic image, but you are, there's not much we can do.
Upskirting is the act of taking a photograph underneath a person's skirt without their consent, an act compounded by the image then often being widely shared. CCTV footage caught this man taking such photos in South London, but police were unable to find him. It was made illegal in Scotland almost 10 years ago, but legally it's a different story in other parts of the UK. And it also appears to be yet another blind spot for social media platforms. Now, most cases of upskirting in England and Wales can't currently be prosecuted under the 2003 Sexual Offences Act. So why is that? Firstly, it depends where the image was taken. If it was in a private place like your own home, it would be considered voyeurism. But the act often takes place in a public space like a gig or on public transport, and no offence of voyeurism can take place there. The other option is whether the photograph is outraging public decency. But believe it or not, if the victim is wearing underwear, therefore they are covered up, that prevents the photo from being indecent. For the past year, Gina has been campaigning to change this. More than 90,000 people have signed her online petition urging for upskirting to be made a sexual offence, many even sharing with her their own experience of being upskirted. One of those who came forward was a 14-year-old girl. She says she was upskirted last year, only this time it wasn't in a busy gig, but in her very own classroom by someone she knew.
I was sat in a French lesson. I was sat next to the guy. I kept feeling something on the back of my skirt, and I assumed that it was probably just his knees kind of brushing against me or something like that, because you never really think that somebody would do that. And then when I went home, I had like an Instagram message from him, and one was a picture, and it was of up my skirt. And I remember kind of just sitting and crying about it because I didn't really know what to do. I'd never experienced anything like this. He was excluded for one day, and that day I was off school, so it didn't affect me at all. And that was the only punishment that I know of that he received. It was dealt with in such a way that made it feel belittled and small and completely my fault.
So where do photos like this end up? Well, mainly online. Channel 4 News found dozens of accounts on Instagram posting non-consensual photos and videos taken up people's skirts, and found big brand names like John Lewis, Adidas and the Latitude Festival unknowingly to them being advertised among the posts. Within hours of us flagging this, some of the voyeuristic accounts were deleted. We asked Instagram why they allowed accounts like this to exist in the first place.
We have zero tolerance for anyone sharing explicit images or videos of others on Instagram. People can report content or accounts that violate our community guidelines using our in-app tools, and our team of reviewers will work quickly to remove them.
Upskirting was recently debated in Parliament, with a number of MPs pushing for it to be made a criminal offence. Now campaigners hope that by making it a specific crime, it will help pave a path for those victims to finally get some form of justice.